Well, now that we've taken a look at what goes on the man's back in combat, let's take a look at what he wears in his stomach. In other words, combat rations.
Have you heard of rations? Those meals soldiers eat when they're out in battle? One could be forgiven for thinking they aren't that important, but their invention led to some pretty interesting tech that's helping us last longer in space, and may even be the future of food. But where do rations come from? Rations have come a long way from their origins. For most of history, rations consisted mainly of bread and salted meat. These rations held just enough food to feed a soldier for one day. Napoleon once famously said that an army marches on its stomach. And he wasn't kidding. Food supplies for troops often determined the outcome of battles. With the American Civil War came kits containing meat, bread, coffee, sugar, and salt, with occasional fruits and veggies. They were stored in haversacks, bags that soldiers carried around with them. Coffee was especially treasured during the war. So treasured, in fact, that Confederate soldiers would trade the Union in secret for it. The food was far from a balanced diet, however. Lack of fresh fruits would often cause sickness and disease. Things had to change, and with World War I, they did. With the arrival of World War I, demand for food technology to protect food from gas, spoilage, and dampness resulted in the reserve ration. This special ration contained smaller tins, hermetically sealed in galvanized containers to be opened only in the event of an emergency. Trench warfare began, and hot food and drinking water were delivered to troops in milk cans carried on a pole by 2 soldiers. This was the first time hot meals were ever served on the front lines. Nutritional survey parties were sent out to train cooks and inspect food. They determined strong and weak units simply by visiting the kitchens, and as a result, everything improved. This improvement continued into World War II. The US military grew into a varied force with well-established missions, widespread fronts, climates, and conditions. With advances in food technology, more than 23 different rations and supplements were developed. During World War II, over 8 million personnel were fed with over 1 billion individual rations. Some troops ate C rations for up to 90 days. The D ration was the first survival ration of World War II. Its high-density, high-caloric chocolate could withstand temperatures of up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Over 450 million bars were procured and stockpiled overseas by 1944. They were actually designed to taste bad, as Colonel Paul Logan, originator of the D ration, states. An emergency ration should not be palatable for fear that the men would consume it rather than carry it until an emergency arose. Fast forward to today, and the MRE, meal ready to eat, is the standard ration in America. The ration has created a variety of products we use every day, including supermarket bread, saran wrap, TV dinners, energy bars, room temperature soft tortillas, and even the McRib. Yes, that McRib. This ration is built to survive in almost any environment, including space. NASA's space food was originally developed alongside military rations, and the newer rations you see today may affect what space travelers years into the future may eat.